got a message from my cousin. She was expecting her very first granddaughter and she was so excited. They were having a baby shower in November and the theme was sloth. So she asked if I could make a diaper cake for her and send it to Arizona. So here's what I did. You gotta watch this. So I'm going to go over a few of the supplies here and let you know what it is that I used and trying to think outside of the box with a few things. The first thing was bag fill that you use for gift bags and whatnot. I've got a little sloth kit that actually was on Amazon, and it's a little sewing kit that you can make, and I believe there were 8 little sloths. I've got lamb's ear. I've got cake decorating rounders out of cardboard. I'm using a sloth stuffed animal that I found on eBay. He's just adorable. I've got various ribbons that were all purchased from Hobby Lobby, all on sale. Here's the kit I was just talking about. And I've got a few different odds and ends. Was able to find like a stick and a couple little other things to where the sloth could be sitting on top of the cake and he could be holding it as if he was in a tree. Kind of similar to that. So what we started with was a base of diapers. And on the bottom, it actually is that cake rounder that I was talking about. My sister put that all together for me as she makes diaper cakes normally on her own. So I'm doing the 2 layers right here with ribbon to gather those and hold them nice and tight using my glue gun. And you'll see I've got the crinkle cut here in the front, and that is the bag fill. I wanted it to kind of have like, not so much a jungle, but a rainforest kind of a theme to it. So I wanted to have things that were out of the ordinary on there. So I'm just making sure I've got everything on here nicely. This ribbon also, with the leaves on it, I believe came from eBay. Take that back. That came from Amazon. I've got some different leaves. And I'm just kind of tearing flowers and things like that apart so I can use the leaves and stuff like that. So I also found some buttons. The color that she was using was a lavender type of a color. So that's a little bit hard of a color to find. So I was using something that was a little bit more like a baby purple. So I'm adding a lot of the different textures here with the lamb's ear, and I've got the little sloths that I am adding to this now. And what I decided to do to make it easy on me was I grabbed a cake plate out of my kitchen and I put it on top of a little Lazy Susan. So it was raised a little bit, which was easier for me to see. And then that way I could spin the cake as I was making it so I could kind of see how I liked things. So once we get done with this, we start on the second layer, and all I had to do was put that second layer straight up on top of the first layer because we're using the cardboard rounders for cake making. So I'm adding the leaf ribbon to this, and then once I get done with that, I'm gonna do the third layer. And that third layer is much smaller, and I'm wrapping it with the pretty ribbon. And where I've attached it at the back, I wanted to make sure it was pretty. So I used the white corsage types of pins. So we could determine how to put this back together again once I had to take it apart in order to send it to her. So I'm kind of dry fitting everything together here and kind of going through what I've got as far as the cake. And you can see what I was talking about with the top. That's eucalyptus. There is a little branch in there, and I've also got some of the lamb's ear. And all I'm gonna do is end up in the end placing that little sloth on top of it and wrapping his hands around it, and he'll just sit there nicely. So I'm kind of going through and making sure I have everything on here that I want. And if you know me well, you know I'm not gonna be done until I'm really, really happy with this. So we are checking to make sure that everything sits nice and straight, which is a very hard thing to do when you're using diapers like this. So I'm going to take this back apart again if I need to. I can kind of tell that the top is not sitting as straight as I want it. So I'm gonna go back through and I'm going to glue a few things. And what I'm doing now when I put the third layer back on is I am decorating up the side, and I'll show you that in just a second here. But you see how nice and straight this is now? All it takes is some adjustment to the diapers, and then everything will sit nice. I think it's turning out really cute here. And I believe I have 8 of the little sloths on, and they're all different, and I've just got them twisted and turned in different directions. I absolutely love it. I sure hope that you do too. So this is going to be very easy for you to put together. We didn't use dowel rods and things like that. Knowing we were going to ship it, it was just easier to do this, and I think it turned out even better. So it is 3 tiers plus the sloth on top, and I'm going to turn it so that you can see everything. Okay, now I'm going to show you how we take it apart. What I have is front and center. I'm trying to make it easy for you to be able to see. The 3 buttons down here on the bottom, that is center of the first tier. This is center of the second tier. Between these 2 sets of buttons here is center, and then center for the sloth also for sitting on, okay? So the first thing is the sloth is just sitting there, so you can just take him off. Now, these are all wired together or wrapped together. They sit right down inside the very top tier, and you're just gonna put them in kind of at an angle until these reach the diaper, because then that way it kind of covers up the top part of the diapers on this end. We didn't put anything, I didn't put anything more on there. So with him off and that out, this tier just comes straight off. Okay, very simple. The same for this tier also, comes straight off. So they're nice and flat. Should be able to just put it back together pretty simply. Just line up the buttons, this sloth and this. And you'll have to lay down some of these leaves here on the top, like if the sloth is in the way. If you adjust back and forth a little bit on the top piece, you'll be able to tell where to put it. So let's see. We have center, center, and center. Okay, then I'm gonna put them in sideways, or leaning I should say, and put this together, okay? So once again, I'm just gonna turn this for you. I had an absolute blast making this. Zip tie it, pull your loop up.